Today, we're going to talk about one of my recent threads and Instagram posts about my free content and just a way that you can potentially approach your content in the future. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Before we dive into today's episode, let's give a shout out to the Up in My Business podcast sponsor, Jane. Jane is a clinic management software and EMR, and I absolutely love Jane. I use Jane in my practice, and I am hoping most of my clients use Jane at this point. And whether you're just starting to do your own research or you've been contemplating switching your software for a while now, the Jane team understands that the process can feel intimidating. I get it because I switched softwares as well, and it was very intimidating. And that's why their goal is to provide you with all of the onboarding resources you need to make the switch as soon as possible and as easy as possible. Jane offers a personalized call to set up your account, a free date import, and a variety of online resources to get you up and running quickly. And if you need help along the way, when you're setting up, when you're first starting to use it, you'll have access to unlimited phone, email, and chat support included in your Jane subscription. So if you're interested in learning more, book a one-on-one demo at jane.app/switch. And if you decide to make the switch, don't forget to use my code LEX1MO at sign up to receive a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account, which works perfectly because you'll be able to set up the account and get things up and running and going smoothly while you're on the free plan. And then once you start paying, hopefully you'll be ready to use the software and get your quote unquote money's worth when you are paying for it. So that code LEX1MO at checkout to receive a 1-month grace period. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I'm so excited that you are here. If you are a longtime listener, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I'm super pumped that you have taken the time to listen to one of my podcast episodes, and I just genuinely appreciate it. So I hope you take something away from this episode. Maybe you listen to more after this. Just thank you. I really, really appreciate it. As always, we're going to start the episode off with life updates and business updates, and then we'll jump into the episode itself. So you can always expect that when you're coming onto the podcast, unless I am pre-recording episodes. In that case, I won't give you life updates because they're not real time, and that feels kind of weird. So life updates really quick. I am always recording. I like to record on Sunday night right now. Probably going to be switching that in the coming weeks, just because I'm getting tired of recording on Sunday night. So I'm going to be switching that, but Sunday night, it's currently Super Bowl time, and 2 stories about that. So the first story, or first thing, if you will, is I was on the East Coast until this year, right? So when the Super Bowl was always a nighttime thing, because it was on the East Coast. And so today we were talking about, someone had asked about volleyball and if we'd still have volleyball practice because of the Super Bowl. And I was like, but isn't the Super Bowl like a nighttime thing? Our practice is at 6:30 in the morning. What are we doing? Why do we need to not have practice at 6:30 a.m. if the Super Bowl is tonight? And Shantae was like, but it's not tonight. It's early because it's 3 hours earlier. So, total moment of, oh yeah, I'm on the West Coast now, so things are earlier. And then also I thought it was really funny. So we didn't watch the Super Bowl. It's going on currently at 6:30 at night here. So it's still going on, but we're not watching the Super Bowl, didn't watch the halftime show, at least I didn't, but Shantae sent me a meme that says, Usher is how I think I look when I'm dancing drunk, and Britney in her living room is how I actually look. And I just can't stop laughing. So my friends and I were laughing at the meme just now as well. So a little bit giggly from that, but hilarious. The internet always wins. So that's really all the life stuff. Other than that, really just more volleyball, more work. The beginning of the year is always, I'm trying to front load this year just because I liked how I felt at the end of last year, where I didn't have a ton of extra work outside of my calls. And I will say I still felt very busy at the end of last year. So I really want to change that this year. And so I'm front loading a lot of stuff, taking on still an amount of clients that feels good. And my plate is as full as I like it, as Molly Galbraith would say. She has a great post on that. I've wanted to find it on her Instagram. So if anyone has it like saved and wants to send it to me, that'd be wonderful. But she has this post that she posts, every once in a while. And it's just like she received an email, or someone that she is in a circle with received an email, and they got a response. They basically said, like, do you want this opportunity, or do you want to do this? And the person had said, like, my plate is as full as I like. And so really working on that. Plate is feeling really good. I am, every single day I'm shutting down my computer, and I don't feel like I could or have to do something. And I'm probably going to do an episode on this maybe next week. Maybe next week's episode will be about that time management and what I changed this year. Because if you've been listening to my episodes, you know that my word of the year was elevate, and it related to my business and also personal life stuff. But, I might do an episode on that, just around what I've actually changed, because in the beginning of January, I said, I'm going to make some changes, and I hadn't really nailed down exactly what those changes needed to be. And now that we're, almost halfway through February, I've kind of have an idea of what exactly I did. And I don't think I really need to do too much more on that, but I will say that I have done some things that I would love to share and see if it helps you. So we'll probably talk about that. But, just, altering things in my business so that things are easier, and I'm front loading the year so I can take more time off at the end of the year. But really, other than that, no huge life updates. We're still just furnishing the house little by little. I told you I'd give you an update on my nook, if you will, the space behind my desk that I've been creating, that I basically have because I need to be entertained by my workspace. And it's been very helpful. So like, I will switch over into that chair to write emails or do my email power hour, or, just honestly just scroll, because, scrolling Instagram, responding to comments, and also, engaging with other people is part of my job. So I will sit in that chair and do that at night. And it's been helpful. I really do think that it was great, just because I find it very difficult to just go do that around the house. And it just feels not good in my body, and doing it in my office in a different space other than my desk where I sit all day has been very helpful. So I will say that's been good. I just can't decide if I'm not sure if I don't like the carpet, or if I don't like the fact that I don't have like photos up on the wall. I got to figure out what I don't like about the corner space, but I am pretty happy with it so far. I like the chair. I like the little stool. I like the blanket that I have. The carpet is like, it's colorful, so it adds some color to the room, which I really like, but the corner itself still looks kind of plain to me, and I have to figure out what to do. I'm not good at this stuff. I talked about that last episode too. Like, I'm not the person who's going to be like, I'm not good at it, so let me try to get better at it. I would rather just hire out for it and be like, I don't like this. And Shantae's good at it, so I do consult her for opinions around that as well. So we'll see. I'm not sure. The attention was not there as far as that was not where the attention was this past week. And I got my rug on Wednesday, I think. So, obviously I've been busy. But really that's all for personal stuff. I really can't speak to any other craziness. Nothing too fun, nothing too different, but that's always good, right? That's why I said this multiple times. I'm like, it's good when I have nothing new to report. I'm like, life is life, and every day feels good, and just doing all the things. Business wise, I am currently sitting in my office, and if I'm sitting in the dark, which is obviously problematic for my eyes. So I'm going to use my phone flashlight and shine it on my calendar that's on my wall. SEO School, I hope you're laughing with me, because this is just who I am. SEO School opens for registration to the waitlist on March 18th. So on March 18th, registration will open only to the waitlist. They will save $100. I haven't decided exactly how everything will be laid out as far as pricing options, yada, yada for SEO School, but waitlist will open up. The waitlist will have registration open up on March 18th. The other cool thing that I've done in the past is bonuses. So in the past, I've done a YouTube SEO call that Doc Joe O, the YouTube guy, on Instagram, if you want to check him out, he runs this YouTube SEO call. And I've done that in the past as a bonus for the people who register on the first day of waitlist registration when that opens. And I have done my Canva course. I've given that away for free. if you register on the first day of registration. And then I've also given away an SEO audit and like SEO plan. So what I do is I just basically schedule a call with someone at the end of SEO school. We go through their website, their design. We can touch on copy a little bit, SEO, but it's an hour call, and I give that away as well to one person. I've considered upping that this time. I'm not entirely sure, but if you're unfamiliar with SEO School, I will link it in the show notes. It's my 6-month flagship SEO or search engine optimization, which is just fancy words for saying getting found on Google. And it's a hybrid course. And the hybrid component, if you will, is that it's self-led modules and then 6 months of support and then lifetime access to the group. So the 6 months of support is really great because we jump on a call once a month. And on that call, it's very much so personalized support. As with anything at the beginning, everyone is doing all the things and people they tend to drop off, not because they're not doing stuff, but because, life happens, what have you. And toward the end, it really ends up becoming like, a consistent number of people that come to the calls, and all of the help ends up being really personalized. So it is definitely, I will say, unheard of in the SEO space to have a hybrid model. There are a ton of courses out there that I just feel like really target marketers and people with teams of many people, or people who have a marketing team in general. And this is where I've tried to make this course very different. So if you're not familiar with SEO School, I will put the link in the show notes. You can check that out and get on the wait list. I do recommend joining the wait list because once again, you'll save money and get access, if you register on the first day anyway, to the bonuses that I decide that we'll have for this cohort. So March 18th, mark your calendars. That will be the day that it opens up. And honestly, the sooner you join the waitlist, the better, because we're getting into my SEO month, if you will. So a month before SEO School opens for registration, I typically start to post more SEO stuff, as well as send out SEO tips and tricks to the waitlist. So the waitlist does get some info even before they register. So even if you decide not to register for SEO School, you will still get SEO stuff from me, if you will. So yeah, join the waitlist. I will put it in the show notes. If you have been on the waitlist in the past, I also will say, please make sure you go to the waitlist and sign up again, just in case you are, taken off and what have you. So that's really all I've got for you. One other thing I do want to just touch on, I can't remember if I said it last week, so I was going to, I'm not sure if I did, but I also put a link to my service brochure. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's also in my Instagram bio now if you're someone who follows me on Instagram, and it's also on my website. So quick little, breakdown on that. I have never hidden my prices. So all of my calls, all of the prices for all of my calls are right on my website. All of my services are listed on my website, and the prices of all those services are listed on my website. Obviously, there are things that, differ because it's a baseline price. So it starts at X, Y, and Z, typically based on, let's just say, a 5-page website. If you have a 50-page website and you're hiring me to do SEO, that's going to be much different than a 5-page website. So I have a baseline price on my website. All that to say, I'm not hiding my prices, but I know that people like a service brochure. And so I have that. And the way that I have done that is that it's through my client management software, which is HoneyBook. So in order to get people onto HoneyBook, I have to get your name and email, and then it sends you a service brochure. This is part of that whole Elevate thing. Last year I was, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Okay. So last year I was sending this. Clearly I still need to clear my throat. So funny. And no, I will not edit this because that's not how I roll. So last year I was sending out the service brochure one by one. So if you booked a discovery call with me, or if you booked, or if you reached out to me, I would send you a link to my service brochure, and I would put you into my client management software on my own. Obviously that takes my time. And I also felt like people wanted access to it before they booked a discovery call, or they didn't want to reach out to me. And, while my prices are all on my website, it's not necessarily easy to go through. It's easy, but it takes time. So if you're someone who doesn't want to take the time, cool, whatever, it's fine. So I have my service brochure. So I've put that on my website for easy access, and I have it available to you, but you have to put your first name or your full name and your email in on the form. And, I don't like it because it feels like I'm hiding my prices behind an email and first name and last name software, but I also address it right in the form. It's like, this is not some shady tactic to get your email. I don't need your email, but I'm going to get it because this is how I automate things in my business. So it's how I've removed myself from having to send a service brochure, because we all know, like, when you switch tasks, it takes like the 15 minutes before, the 15 minutes after, and then however long it takes you to do the thing. So it ends up, I don't want to say wasting. I'm not wasting time, but I am devoting my energy there instead of doing something that could, I could do for a client or, be on a call, yada, yada. So I wanted to make sure I automated that process. So I'll put the link there in the show notes, but it's just very important to me that it's not one of those shady tactics. Like, you can't see my prices until you sign up for this sheet. Like, absolutely not. So all my prices are on my website. If you prefer not to put your email in there, then don't. Just go to my website. But if you want them all in one place, all the services I have, then you can put your full name and email address on there, and then you will get the service brochure sent to you. All right. I think that's all. I am just going to open up. I have my computer open because obviously I'm recording that. Of course, I have my computer open, but I have my browser open because I want to read something. So today's episode it's going to be pretty quick because my thoughts on this have been posted already on Instagram and on Threads. But I want to say that there were two scenarios, if you will, or two situations, not even a situation, just something that someone brought to my attention. And then it's happened a couple times since. So I will say, people oftentimes will say, I can't believe that you're posting content on Instagram that's paid content. Or like, someone commented one day and was like, you're delivering paid content for free on Instagram, like, good job, or like, can't thank you enough, or what have you. And to that, I will say, like, there is a boundary, right? So I'm not giving personalized coaching on Instagram. I'm not giving people personalized tips, but I'm taking things that can help anyone and posting it on Instagram. I will say that I'm not carrying it over to my blog on my website because it hasn't really made sense for me to do that yet. Could I? Yes, I could. But I've just decided not to at this point, but at least for now. But I'm posting on Instagram free content that if someone stumbles upon it, they can get help. So I just want to read, because if you don't follow me on Instagram, or if you're not like seeing all my posts, because that does happen. I don't see everyone's posts either. I just want to make sure that people don't miss this. And it's just my take on why I post free content and the purposes of my free content. And I'm going to read the caption first, because the caption is what matters to me. Because I have been lucky enough, I'm just going to start reading the caption now. I have been lucky enough to learn from Shantae from literally the beginning of starting my business. And obviously that was long before I was heavily biased that she's the best, right? So it's been since 2018 and probably before that. And after moderating, so on Saturday, she had her Instagram Business Blueprint Masterclass. And during that moderation process, like, sometimes the muse will just hit for me. She calls it the muse. I'm not sure if she got that from Rachel Strickland. I don't know. But when the muse hits, you kind of got to go. And I was like, I have a thought that I need to get out. So I started writing this thought out in my notes app during the masterclass. And the thoughts just kind of came out in written form. I posted it on Threads, and I posted it on Instagram, which I'll read to you in a second. But I get DMs from people all the time, and no, I'm not trying to sound influencer-esque, right? Like, I do get these DMs. I do get people who reach out. I don't want to be like, everyone has said that. Like, no. But they tell me that they save all of my posts and they find them incredibly helpful. And then anytime they have an admin day, they go to their saved posts. They have a folder for my stuff, which I'm so mind blown by this. Like, I am so appreciative. It's so humbling to know that people do this with my posts, and I love it so much. But it's a feeling that I can't describe. I'm just so thankful. And they go into this folder and they follow all the tutorials that I post. And some people will even say, like, I can't believe you give it all away for free, like I said before. And someone actually DM'd me about their website and a blog and their blog. And they're in SEO school, so they know my thoughts on this. They probably are listening to this episode. Names will not be said, but they wanted to know where to put their blog on their website, because they don't want it to distract people who are coming to their site, but they weren't sure, like, given like other people's opinions, where they should actually put this blog. So, and after her asking this question, like, these thoughts have been bouncing around in my head, or they were bouncing around in my head until Saturday. And that's when I was able to really get them out and, obviously say the post that I'm going to say or in a second. But these, what I'm going to vocalize, and I'm just going to read the post. What I'm going to say is like, these are my thoughts around becoming a binge-worthy source. And like I talk about it in SEO school a lot, like you need to become the binge-worthy source for your people, because if you're not, they're getting it from somewhere else. And, if you don't find an answer from me, or if I'm a pelvic PT and you don't have content about pelvic PT on your website, or if I'm searching for that, I'm going to go find it somewhere else. So your people are going to find stuff. So why not become the binge-worthy source for your people if you can? And that's where all of this stems from. So I'm going to read the post that I made, because like I said, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you're not going to see it, which is fine. I'm not expecting that to be the case, but I'm going to read it here. And then obviously you can go check it out on Instagram if you want. But when I talk about this, these are my two main purposes for posting free content, whether that's on my Instagram, my podcast, my opt-ins on my website, my blog, anything that I give away for free, right? The first thing is for you to help yourself. So if someone comes to my page or they find my content, they read it, and then they're able to solve their own problem, and they don't need to pay me to help them. Like, I love that. That's great. And the thing is like, I post things that you could probably find elsewhere too. Like, I don't know, I'm not saying the stuff that I post is proprietary. Like, it's not a tutorial that no one else has, but I think people enjoy hearing it from me, right? So I do post stuff, and if you help yourself because you found my stuff, you did the thing, and then you don't need me to help you on a one-on-one call, great, amazing. One, because I don't have the time to help every single person. And two, I will say that there are people who will tell me like, I can't afford your hourly rate right now. Great. So I have tons of free stuff for you. So I do think it's a way to allow people to get help without needing to pay me for help. And I love that I'm able to just, post things and people take that and are able to get a win, right? Number two, that the reason why I post and have all this free stuff is for you to gain trust in me, right? And know that if you do ever need help, I've got your back. And like, I do want to help you. It's not, I post this stuff and I think that it's one of those things because Shantae had taught me, I need to teach everything I know and give it all away for free. And that's how I'm posting. It's why I approach all the things that I do. And the way that this next part came out for me, it felt good to finally get the words in written form. But I said, any other approach to that stuff or this free stuff feels like it comes from a scarcity mindset and would be limiting to your autonomy as a consumer. I do have your best interest at heart. So what I'm saying with that is like, an approach to, giving away free content or not, I think that if I were to, let's just say, post a bunch of stuff and then hide it and make it hard for you to find, one, what's the point? And then two, I just feel like I want you to have more options than that. And I don't want you to feel forced to hire me because I'm like keeping this secret information in. I want you to get a win and trust me, one, because I'm posting this stuff for free and you're like, oh, cool. Like Lex just helped me on ConvertKit. Maybe she can help me with this other thing on ConvertKit too. And I just think it's really limiting to you as a consumer for me to like hide the stuff that I know. And I want you to make sure that I want to make sure you have that autonomy and the ability to solve your own problems if you can do that with something that I give away for free. And that's why I have this, my next slide was, so with all the content that you create, make it easy to find and consume. You're creating this content, you're building a blog, you have a podcast, you have Instagram posts, make it easy to find and make it really easy for people to binge. And whether someone gets a win and has a better day and feels accomplished because of it, they get a win and then refer others to you. They get a win and come back to you if they need help, or if they gain trust in you and pay you to do the thing for them immediately. It doesn't matter. It's all a good outcome, whether it's for you or for them, right? So like if you read my stuff, you get a win, great. Maybe you tell your friend about me. Amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. And the thing is, I think, it's so limiting and it comes from a scarcity mindset, in my opinion, to be like, I think I'm going to hide all this knowledge that I have and not give anything away, or like, I'm going to make it hard to find. I just don't think it comes from a place that makes sense. I want people to be able to binge stuff. And that's why I teach my SEO school students to become a binge-worthy source of information. Write a lot about a little and share your expertise. And for me, my questions were, can we dismantle myths? Can we create a threat, or can we decrease the threat around asking for help? Can we give a virtual hug to those who are reading our content? Like, I understand what you're going through. Here's what it may be. Here's how you can get help if you want to. If you're ready, cool. If you're not, then let's chat when you are. Like, this is where I think it comes in handy to have this free stuff. People can binge your content and not only get to know how you treat and do things, but also if you can help them. If you talk about, I always give the example of hair. If you have blonde hair, I think you understand this. You may understand it if you have textured hair, what have you. You trust a hairdresser who has worked with someone who looks like you. Like, I will go to a hairdresser based on their Instagram and if they have blonde hair that they've done, because I've done the opposite and then I've come out with purple hair or blue hair, and I will never make that mistake again. So for me, I'm like, I want to know that you're very proficient in what you do, and I want to know that you know what you're talking about. And I think a lot of smart consumers, people are pretty smart nowadays, they want to know that too. So if we can just create information, if we're creating content, make it easy to consume for people so that they can get to know you and they can get to trust you. There's nothing wrong with having that be super easy to find. I think that there's no reason to protect that information. Those people will come to you if they want help. And I also think like it's hard because our system is so messed up for healthcare to begin with. And for us to like keep some information hard to find or not to say it out loud at all, they're going to go to Google and find it somewhere else. And if you're a local business, I would love for you to come up as the resource locally for pelvic pain, or you to come up as a resource for ACL reconstruction. I would capitalize on that, be the binge-worthy source for that information, and then be the person that people refer other people to, right? So if you are the expert and you have all this content on your website about X, Y, and Z service that you have, or X, Y, and Z pathology that you treat, someone else is going to read that. And then if someone that they know has an issue, they're going to be like, hey, I actually just read from X, Y, and Z about X, Y, and Z. You should go see them. Like, I just don't see how that would ever be a negative thing. So I would say, the next slide was, I would say that it's a resounding yes. No matter what type of business you have, you can dismantle a myth. You can make someone feel safer. You can, essentially remove the fear around asking for help and looking for solutions to these problems. So for me, it's like, write a lot about a little. And as Shantae has always taught, like, teach everything you know and give it all away for free, because she says people will pay you to say it again. And always, always, always make this content easy to find and binge for your people, because it's so, so worth it on all fronts. So the point of this episode, obviously you could have went to my Instagram and read that. But one, I always feel like people are not always finding Instagram posts. And two, it's always helpful to hear my voice too. Obviously I get a little, like, I'm talking fast. I love talking fast. And I get a little amped up when I talk about it, because I just feel like this is so important. And it's why I teach it in SEO school. Your blog should be in your navigation bar at the top of your website, because I want people to be able to find that. If someone comes to your website and they want to get help for X, Y, and Z thing, I would love for them to be able to see in your blog that you talk about this thing all the time. You can be trusted to treat that thing and help them with that thing. Or, some people, I will say, and this is where people get a little caught up in, what type of content should I create? Sometimes people are just looking for information. Like, they might just have an introductory symptom, if you will, something that they're not ready to get help for, but they're just curious. They're in what we call the research phase. So if someone is just doing research and they find your website and they're doing their research based on whatever problem they're having, they're searching for that thing, they're trying to find someone who is talking about it, a solution that may apply to them. If they're in that research phase, I would love for you to be able to be, the person that they read from, right? And in that research phase, if you're the person that they're consuming content from and you have a bunch of content on that thing that they're having a problem with, if they're not ready to get help that day, they'll probably contact you when they are. So we're really losing out on the person who's doing research if we're not making it easily accessible as far as like creating that content and then letting them binge it. And I think it's really unfortunate. Like, I want people to have their blog and show people that they know what they're doing, honestly, and that they can be trusted with treating this thing and, be that resource. And it goes a long way. It really does go a long way to just become the person that people look to for that specific problem, issue, what have you, whether they come see you or their friend sees you, what have you. So I would invite you to just approach your content in that way and just have your goal be to become a binge-worthy source. Publish a lot about a little, write a lot about a little, and make it easy to find that content, whether it's Instagram, your podcast, your blog, what have you. Just make it really easy to find. All right. That's all I've got for you today. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this resonated with you. Let me know if you have questions. As always, email. You can DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Really, really thankful that you stuck around until the end of the episode. And like I said, I think next week I'm going to talk about the actual changes that I made and implemented in my business in the last month and a half, now that we've been a month and a half in, and maybe some thoughts on stuff that I'll do in the future. I don't know. But either way, thank you so much. I will catch you next time.